a surge of resources to respond to a very significant explosion and fire. But what that does is it means that all of those available resources are pushed to the site. But through careful planning and through more efforts, we made sure we backfilled the departments that were at the scene. So we want to thank the following fire departments for backfilling to make sure that everyone else was protected during the surge of resources. We want to thank the Vine Grove Fire Department, West Point, Simpsonville, Shelby County. I want to thank other first responders that include the Kentucky National Guard, Kentucky Office of Homeland Security, Louisville EMA, the Airport Police Department, Louisville Metro Police Department, Jefferson County Sheriff's Office, St. Matthews Police Department, Shively Police Department, Kentucky State Police, Louisville Metro EMS, the Metro Sewer District, Louisville Gas and Electric, Kentucky Emergency Management, Kentucky Emergency Management Urban Search and Rescue Task Force 1, Kentucky ERC-ERT, the Jefferson County Emergency Management, the Jefferson County Coroner, the National Weather Service, the FBI, and there are more. There have been over 200 first responders that were on the scene last night, and there is a significant amount of resources in the search and rescue, and ultimately what is probably by now the recovery effort that is occurring. I want to thank everybody who was working overnight when it was dangerous, when there was other flammable or explosive materials, but they were searching to try to find any and all survivors and to locate any bodies to try to give families the closure that they deserve. As of this time, we can confirm that there have been 9 fatalities, but I'm now fairly confident that that number will grow by at least 1. We hope it doesn't grow by too many more. I believe by this afternoon we'll have a pretty good grasp of both the number of fatalities and, if there are any, the number of missing persons that we're still looking for. Remember, there's a Victim Family Reunification Center at the Louisville Metro Police Training Academy, which remains open. That address is 2911 Taylor Boulevard. As of last night, there had been 16 different families there. I think the mayor's providing an update where that number may now have shrank. At least information I'm getting is those families may not line up with the hospital patients, which means we've got to continue to search that site, hope and pray for the best, but know there may be more loss of life that we're going to learn about today. 2 businesses were directly impacted: Kentucky Petroleum Recycling and Grade A Auto Parts. Thankfully, a local restaurant that is right there that we had great concern would be impacted and we would lose whoever was in it, was missed and now is helping the search and rescue. We're grateful for them. Another blessing is this plane could have potentially hit the major Ford factory or the convention center. Those are all close by and did not. The radius for the shelter in place has been significantly reduced. Louisville Metro is putting out guidance to residents and businesses immediately around the crash site to not consume water. EEC, the Energy and Environment Cabinet, is working closely with the city on this. Other areas are safe. Now, if you are in the suburbs, if you're in other parts of Louisville, you are as safe today as you've been any other day. The air is fine, your water is fine, but that immediately around the crash site, we're just trying to be very careful. In new news today, following yesterday's events, I'm declaring a state of emergency to help us deal with this plane crash. It allows us to move resources more quickly through emergency management and the Kentucky National Guard. It allows state resources to be used also through our agencies to be readily available, including disaster resource management, expenses related to response, and more, as well as reimbursement. It's going to help to make sure that groups that are already limited in terms of their funding can get some immediate or short-term help as they wait for reimbursement for the costs that they've expended. Additionally, I've taken action to establish the Team Kentucky Emergency Relief Fund to help those affected by this terrible event. The URL for this site is going to be on the screen. Similar to previous storm disaster funds, every dollar donated will go directly to those affected. In fact, what we've done is we've gone and amended the Team Kentucky Storm Relief Fund to now allow families impacted by a disaster like this to also benefit from the generosity of Kentuckians. Remember, the first thing that we pay for out of these funds are funerals, so that in a time of grief, nobody is worried about that. In Kentucky, we grieve together and we support one another. Donations will help pay for funerals and for response, recovery, and rebuilding. All right, while Kentucky is responding to this crisis in Louisville following yesterday's deadly plane crash, we must also remember the challenges that our families are facing due to a lack of SNAP benefits brought on by the Trump administration. This is a program that was under attack early by the president following the big, ugly bill. That's why in June I wrote a letter to Kentucky's congressional delegation urging them to consider the harmful impacts of this legislation and how it would hit our people, because SNAP is crucial for Kentucky. In our Commonwealth, over 600,000 Kentuckians rely on SNAP. That's 1 of 8 of our people, many of which are kids. These families need this support to avoid going hungry. But on October 1st, the federal shutdown began, and this now, today, marks the longest shutdown in the history of our country. From the start of the shutdown, the president made it clear that this program would be at risk. In fact, the Trump administration stopped the federal government from paying out SNAP benefits for November and also stopped states from flowing state funds through SNAP to pay out those benefits. And that's despite the USDA's website saying that he could fund SNAP benefits even in a shutdown. Americans should never be a negotiating tool. And I am committed to taking action to do what we can to stand up for our people. So on October 20th, I announced that while we were exploring options for SNAP, we had 2 updates that would help many who rely on this program. First, after learning our area development districts had exhausted the nearly $10 million in funding for senior meals, I announced that we were able to move $9.1 million to help fund that program. It took a lot of work to find a solution. Thankfully, we did, and the General Assembly leadership agreed to move forward with that plan. That day, I also announced that for November during the shutdown, that we could cover the Temporary Assistance for Needy Families, or TANF program, that the federal government was not going to fund. That was about $12 million that's helping our people, many of which also get SNAP benefits. Following that update on October 24th, we received a letter from the USDA confirming what had already been threatened. The letter said it was suspending all November 2025 benefit payments for SNAP for approximately 42 million Americans that rely on them.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Dan Mann. I'm the CEO of the Louisville Regional Airport Authority. Thanks for being here today. First, I'd like to really start just by saying, our hearts and thoughts and prayers are with all the families, friends, and everybody that's been affected by this tragedy. All the first responders that have been out spending a lot of hours last night, still going this morning. Really instrumental in us being able to open the airport. Special kudos to the traffic control and our folks at TSA who were here and available and getting this place ready to go. We are operational. We have one runway open. We do have some delays. We had 21 flights cancel yesterday. That's 16% of the total flights. And then as of today, we've had 16 flights cancel, 12% of our total flights. We expect there'll probably be many delays and a few more cancellations until we get another runway open. But we are operational. TSA is screening passengers and the tower is clearing aircraft. And so we are moving along in that fashion. The last part I'd like to say is the NTSB has arrived. They're on the scene. I expect you will hear from them later today. We don't have an exact time, but they are out on the airfield, and I believe they will be in sometime this afternoon, and you'll hear more information on that. That's all I have for right now, Mayor.
Thanks, Dan. Good afternoon, everyone. First, I want to speak directly to the families who are still waiting for information about their loved ones. I know there are simply no words that can undo what happened, that can provide true comfort at this moment with lack of information and pain that you're feeling. But please know that everyone in Louisville, myself, all levels of government across the state, the federal level, we are all here for you. We are here to support you, to provide you with the resources that you need. People are working right now to get you the information you're seeking as quick as we possibly can, and we will continue to stay with you. This is not something that will go away overnight. We know that your pain will continue for days, months, years ahead, and so we are here to support each and every one of you. I was there last night at the Family Reunification Center to try to provide some comfort to families who are looking for information, and we are continuing to work every day. Also, to the rest of our city, no one should have to deal with tragedy alone. Whether you're the family member of someone who is still missing or have been notified as a victim of this crash, whether you're part of the UPS family, whether you know people who are part of the UPS family, everyone in our city, I know, has been hurt by this tragedy. And so we have resources available directly for the victims and for others throughout the city to help. And that's where I wanted to start today. First, if you're still looking for information about a loved one, please go to 2911 Taylor Boulevard. That's the LMPD training facility. That is where we have members of the LMPD Victims Unit, where the Red Cross, 7 counties, and other resources are available for families of individuals who may have been victims of the crash. Beyond just the families, again, know this is an incredibly difficult time and trauma impacts everybody differently. There are resources available throughout the entire city to provide help to individuals who are struggling to process this tragedy. If you feel like you have an emergency, a mental health emergency, please dial 988. 988 is a national number that can get you a mental health professional and some assistance to deal with your grieving, with your pain, with whatever you are dealing with. If you have a non-emergency but you would like to still speak with a mental health counselor, please reach out to our Office of Violence Prevention that has trained mental health professionals waiting to assist you. That phone number is 574-6949. Additional beyond those resources, JCPS is out today. We know that there are families across our city that are struggling with hunger, with lack of food right now as a result of SNAP benefits being cut off, other issues in this challenging time. If you're in need of food today, if your kids are in need of food today because they are not in school, please reach out to Dare to Care at 966-3821. 966-3821. And also, as the governor just announced, we're not going to go over everything that the governor just provided in his briefing that he just made from Frankfurt. He is now headed towards Louisville to join Congressman McGarvey and me here shortly. We will not repeat everything, but I do want folks to know that we are working with Governor Beshear and his team on the relief fund for families of victims of this. We've had an outpouring of support already from local companies, local foundations, and individuals to ask what they can do to help. And so we're going to all partner on this together to support them. That's the Team Kentucky, Team KY Emergency Relief Fund.ky.gov. There's going to be more information put online about that if you're interested in supporting the families of the victims. A few other items on public safety. As we mentioned this morning, the shelter-in-place radius has been reduced to a quarter mile, and we will continue to reduce that as soon as we're confident that it is safe. Can continue to try to shrink that throughout the day. Air monitoring continues to go on around the crash site and around the city, and all residential water service is safe to drink. Everyone's water is safe to drink unless you have been specifically reached out to by the Louisville Water Company giving you an advisory. You should feel comfortable that your water is safe to drink. LG&E is getting power back on to those non-affected areas outside of the crash site right now. Last I heard, there were 135 customers still without power. Also want to talk about drones for a minute. Right now, there's a temporary flight restriction that's been put in place by the FAA surrounding the crash site. There's no reason for any drones from private individuals or other organizations to be flying right now. They could get in the way of our recovery operations. If you are flying a drone within this TFR area, we will find your drone and you run the risk of prosecution, of heavy federal fines. Please do not be that person that is getting in the way of our recovery efforts. Give our first responders, give the NTSB, give everyone the opportunity to deal with that site, and please don't use drones right now in that restricted airspace. Congressman McGarvey and I have been in touch since the first moments after this happened. I also want to thank Robin Taylor from Senator McConnell's office here. We've been in touch with Senator Paul's office, with Congressman Guthrie's office. In times like this, everybody puts partisan politics aside here in Kentucky, and we're all working closely together. Governor Beshear and his administration, my administration, and all of our federal delegation working together to bring whatever resources each of we can in partnership to get answers, to provide relief and resources, and to ensure that our city is safe and coming together to support those who are in need. Congressman McGarvey and I also just left a meeting with the NTSB, and I'm going to now turn it over to Congressman McGarvey to say a few words about that meeting and share a few things about next steps. Congressman McGarvey.
Thank you, Mayor Greenberg. I really appreciate your leadership at this time and everything you're doing in both mobilizing people, mobilizing emergency crews, making sure people have what they need, but also for your compassion, your emotional leadership at this time. Reality is this rocked our community. Louisville looked apocalyptic last night. The images of smoke coming over our city, of debris falling in every neighborhood, people trapped in their homes, for the families who lost someone who won't be coming home. This is awful. This is not something you think happens here. And when it does, it impacts every single one of us. I'm a lifelong Louisvillian. To answer the question, I went to Manual High School. Everybody here knows everybody. We're the biggest small city in America, and if you don't know someone directly impacted by this, you know someone who does. But this is when we're also at our best is when things are worst. And we come together. And I can tell you, we're all working together. The mayor's office, the governor's office, Senator McConnell's office, Senator Paul's office, Congressman Guthrie's office, the entire delegation. We are bringing the full resources of the federal government to bear on this tragedy to make sure that we get answers as quickly as possible, but also, and I stress that those answers are correct. And it can be frustrating. We all want to know what happened right now. We've seen some of the images online, and there's a lot of internet sleuths. The NTSB is here. They have a full team. What does that look like? 28 people from the NTSB are here on the ground, plus the support network back in Washington, D.C. They are going to analyze absolutely every bit of what happened. We're talking about everything that is man-made, that is machine-made, that is environmental. The NTSB is going to go over with a fine-tooth comb. They are partnering with the Red Cross. They are not only investigating the crash, they are providing direct assistance and communication with victims' families. We are thrilled that they are here. It's going to take a little while, but we will work with them, with everybody involved, to make sure that we know what happens in this instance. There's so many stories of loss. There are also so many stories of bravery. I said last night Louisville looked apocalyptic, awful. And a plane, we know it was a plane, we know it was taking off to Hawaii, we know how much fuel was on board. And when it crashed and that fuel spread everywhere, I had someone tell me it looked like it was raining oil in Louisville. But the Oklahoma Fire Department, it's their jurisdiction. And Chief Little, you and your firefighters did not hesitate. You put your gear on, you got in those trucks, and you raced head first into a truly apocalyptic scene without regard to your own safety or well-being, to do what you do best, to protect our community. Every single one of your firefighters was out last night with the hundreds of others from not just across our county, but across our state. We are extremely grateful for your bravery. We're extremely grateful for your training. It was just 2 weeks ago that we were training for something unfortunately like this. We're grateful for what you do. We're grateful for how you do it. And I want to invite Chief Little from Oklahoma to come up and say a few words.
I'd like to say good afternoon to everyone, give you a brief statement and update about our situation. Last night, about 5 o'clock, shortly thereafter, we were dispatched on a explosion. Shortly thereafter, we were informed that it was a plane crash. And as the governor pointed out, just about 2 weeks ago, we did train with Louisville Fire along with the Airport Authority. This is something that we do annually. You hope that you never have to do this, but unfortunately it happened. So last night we had roughly 38 companies on scene. We had multiple agencies from across the state. We had, and please forgive me, those agencies if I do not name you, but Bardstown, Bullitt County, Lexington, all responded here. We worked with MetroSafe, Louisville Metro EMS, Louisville PD, and all the county fire departments across our county here. They were all represented. So we had roughly 30 ambulances here last night. And today we've downscaled tremendously. We currently have 4 engines, 4 trucks, 2 ambulances on scene. We have roughly 30 to 40 firefighters that are on scene. We have a SARS team. It's a search and rescue team that is represented by all the county departments along with Louisville Fire, and there's approximately 40 members here doing search and rescue through the debris zone. So let's see. So we are currently working with NTSB. We have some hot spots that are out there that we're trying to, some of them we're going to let burn. They're so insignificant right now, but as they flare up, we will extinguish them. One of the issues that we are currently having is the size of the debris zone and actually getting our apparatus there. So, yeah. I'll turn it back over to the mayor.
Just a couple. Thank you very much, Chief. A couple final comments, and then we'll open it up to questions from members of the media. First, we'll continue to stay at this 24/7 as long as necessary. All of us are working on this as well as our respective teams that are out there. I think my last call with the governor last night was around midnight. First one at 5:45 this morning, and our teams are just going above and beyond. And so, just want to say thankful to every one of the first responders. Chief Little, thanks to you and the entire team. So we will continue to keep you all updated with additional information as we know it. But for right now, that's the information that we have. As Congressman McGarvey said, I think it was Congressman McGarvey said that NTSB, we hope will have a briefing later this afternoon. We'll be providing some more briefing after the governor arrives in a few hours when we have even more information. Then the final thing I wanted to mention was, I know there's a lot of questions about who are the victims that have tragically perished in this crash. The coroner, the Jefferson County coroner has been at the scene, is back at the scene today. They are the ones that confirm the identities of the victims and are the ones that provide that information. And as soon as we have that, we will amplify the information that the coroners are able to provide as soon as they make these identifications. And with that, we will open it up to questions from members of the media.
Can the chief tell us how long the search and recovery part of this incident will go on for? How long are you going to stay out there looking for victims?
Could repeat the question.
Okay. Repeat the question for me, please. For me.
Repeat it so
Okay.
we can hear it, not yet.
So how long will we be out there? We'll be out there. We're planning to be there for at least a week or longer. We'll be out there as long as the NTSB needs us to be there. We are prepared for this. So I don't know how many victims we're actually looking for. That's one of the issues. And the debris zone is so large. So trying to get people back there. And with the debris zone, some of that debris is going to have to be moved and searched underneath. So it will take us quite a while.
What is the size of the debris zone?
I don't have a footage or a square mileage, but so Fern Valley Road, probably about 50 yards past Melton. I don't know if you know how long or how far that is. So, but it's a very large debris zone.
Can you give us any other details about that debris zone?
As far as that debris zone, there were a petroleum recycle business that was there that created some issues for us. The oil that was stored there came across the roadways, got into the waterways. LMSD's on scene taking care of that. The other businesses, there were some businesses where you could go and pull apart from scrap vehicles. So large semis that are in there and multiple vehicles. So a lot of scrap metal as well. So.
Do you know how an approximate number of people who are still unaccounted for?
I do not.
We have not. There are more than the number of victims that we have confirmed that have families looking for information about them. Hold on 1 second. 1 second.
Is the city, NTSB, anyone going to share any images of that crash site since people can't drone and crews are being kept pretty far back?
For right now, we're going to defer to the NTSB on that and let them get through their initial assessment. And so you can ask them that this afternoon. Also, just one more thing about the water company is going to be putting up some more information about what I said earlier on their website. momentarily here. And I do, as Congressman McGarvey was pointing out, all of these great collaborations and all the offices. I also want to recognize James Victory from Congressman Guthrie's office is here with us as well. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for the Congressman's support of all of this effort.
Chief, could you describe for us the wreckage of the plane itself, what sort of shape it's in, and what have you observed?
There's, for the fuselage, we've not seen much of it, to tell you the truth. There's wreckage that starts from almost Fern Valley Road and does go all the way down past Melton. So there are landing gear that's out there. You would not see a whole fuselage. With the intense fire that was there, most of things are gone. So including some of the vehicles, the semis, and the plane.
The governor had many words of praise for your actions last night and your quick response. And in his words, I think he said things could have been much worse. What else could have happened here without your quick response?
Right here, we're so lucky, to be honest with you. This is not a residential area. Thank God that some of the employees had already left, being after 5 o'clock, so it could have been more catastrophic for us.
Can you share what the Emergency Management Agency found through its air quality testing, and what specific findings led to the shelter-in-place order?
I'll defer. We'll get you. The question was about what results were the air monitoring. I'll get with emergency management on that. But they're continuing to monitor it in real time, and as it's safe for everybody, that's when we're increasing it. Public safety is our absolute #1 priority.
Mayor, have you been to the crash site?
I've not yet been. We will be going. Congressman McGarvey, the governor, and I will be going there shortly here after this.
Congressman McGarvey, in your conversations with NTSB, has there been any discussion about possible effects of the government shutdown on the response?
Yeah, I've been in conversations with NTSB since the very beginning of this. Talked to the chair of NTSB several times last night, as late as midnight. Talked with board member Inman, who's on the scene here. He's a true pro, and I should say this, he's also a Kentuckian, which I think makes this very special. They are taking this very seriously. Every resource of NTSB is being brought to bear on this. There is no impact from the shutdown whatsoever.
Chief, how are your firefighters doing?
Our firefighters are doing very well. So we did a shift change this morning, so we have fresh bodies on scene that are capable of handling this. So
Are you offering them any?
we do have refreshments, and many local businesses have offered to donate food and refreshments.
Well, what about
The mental issues, we've not had any at this point. Down the road, we will open that up. We have in-house counsel that comes in and visits with them. We have other programs should something arise and they need to speak to someone.
We know what the NTSB is going to be doing in terms of their investigation of the crash. Is there anything locally that needs to be investigated? Any questions that need to be answered in the aftermath of this?
The question was, are there any local investigations that are commencing? At this time, there are none. NTSB will be taking the lead on why this occurred, and if there are, as a result of that, if information is discovered that means we need to do anything else locally here, we certainly will jump on that immediately. But at this point, there are no local investigations ongoing. We're simply working in partnership as first responders and on the recovery effort and to identify any additional victims.
Do you foresee any discussions in the future about continued presence of commercial buildings, residential buildings, anything that might be south of the airport?
The question was about commercial buildings south of the airport. There are very detailed federal rules and regulations on all of this and where and what you can build and to what heights, all surrounding the airport, that is based on safety practices. I'm confident the federal government continues to evaluate those on a regular basis. We continue to prioritize safety in all aspects, whether that's buildings, whether that's individuals, and so we'll follow the federal government's lead on that. At this point, we don't expect any changes. This is a tragic accident, and we are, again, as you heard the governor say earlier, You heard the chief and others. We are fortunate it was not worse, but this was a tragic accident. And at this point in time, we have no reason to believe it's anything more than that.
A couple of questions.
I just want to add to that really quickly, if you don't mind, Mayor, because this is about the NTSB and a little bit of a federal issue. I just want to say that the NTSB, they are the experts in this. They know what they're doing. We are glad they are here leading this investigation. Both the mayor and I met with Member Inman this morning and his team when they landed. We've talked to them before they got here. He pointed out this morning, if I'm not mistaken, Mayor, that the NTSB has over 150,000 of these investigations under its belt. They are working closely with us. It is not the feds coming in and just, running over locals. It is a true partnership. They know what they're doing. You've got the mayor's department working well with them, the governor's department of emergency management working well with them. We're all in the same room. We're all on the same page. But they said this morning. I says, David, to your question, it says, "From tragedy, we draw knowledge to improve safety for us all," is the motto they gave us this morning. And so.
The question was a conversation I've had with UPS. I've spoken to several UPS executives. They are fully cooperating with the NTSB. They're working on providing support to all of the victims' families at this point in time.
Are all of the victims UPS employees?
The question is, are all of the victims UPS employees? Again, we have not identified the victims. I do not believe that to be the case. We have, UPS has disclosed that there are 3 crew members. Beyond that, I have no knowledge that any of the other victims are UPS employees, but I just don't know at this point in time. They might have been off duty or something like that, so I just don't know that for a fact. A couple more questions.
A couple questions for Director Mann, just short questions. One, you discussed how one runway was open. What is the status of the other runway? Was there any damage sustained? And also, we're looking into the flight that took off yesterday. Were there any maintenance issues or concerns before takeoff that were addressed?
No. So we have one runway open. There was no FOD or debris, so we were able to open that with NTSB's concurrence. The primary runway, our west parallel runway, has FOD, and that's where the NTSB is focusing right now. They'll go through all their inspections. The east parallel runway has a little bit of debris. We think that may be able to open this afternoon. As it relates to inspections, problems with maintenance, we just finished Part 139 is a compliance inspection with the FAA, and we have records on every inspection we do on the airfield. I think within an hour prior to that flight, our ops team had been out there and done an inspection, and everything was fine. So from a maintenance perspective, it looks good. As it relates to damage to the airfield, there's debris. There's some minor problems in the grass and the safety areas. The physical pavement is in fine shape right now. So it will open as soon as we have clearance from the NTSB to do so. Again, that takes some time. We have the one runway. We think we'll have the second one open, but we can operate fine with the parallel runway, with especially the air carrier traffic.
All right, we will provide an update on when our next briefing is later this afternoon, and we thank you all very much. We'll continue to keep the entire community updated as soon as we have additional new information. Thank you all very much, and God bless everyone here in Louisville and around the region. These are tough times. We will get through it together. Thank you.